Today's video, I want to talk about 5 lessons that I learned from Tropical Storm Zeta. About a week and a half ago from now, maybe about 2 weeks from the time you see this video, we were hit with either hurricane or tropical storm Zeta or Zeta. My area was impacted by this tropical storm slash hurricane, and while it wasn't a direct impact, we still had some events and I learned some things. So I'm wanting to do this video for you guys. Hopefully you guys learn from my mistakes and hopefully it gets you more into thinking about different storms that affect your area. So 5 lessons that I learned from this tropical storm slash hurricane. So number 5, you can only beat a dead horse so much. Guys, I have family, I have friends, I have neighbors, I have coworkers who watch this channel. And for the last almost 2 years, I've been saying, hey, get prepared, be prepared. It never hurts to have a little extra stuff because events happen. Friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, relatives, whatever you want to call them, yeah, nothing has ever happened here. This is the golden corner. We're pretty golden when it comes to storms. Nothing ever happens here. This is the 3rd event this year where we have lost power for at least 24 hours. In the springtime, my town was struck with a 36-hour power outage because of a blown transformer. About a week and a half later, we were hit with a EF3 tornado, and that took the power out for 2 to 10 days in some places. And then this hurricane Zeta is the 3rd event. Some people lost power between 2 and 6 days. And you talk to these people and you say, hey man, be prepared, be prepared, be prepared. Nah, nothing ever happens here. Then the 36-hour power outage happens. It was a freak event. Won't happen again. Then the tornado happens. We ain't had one in 20 years. It was bound to happen. Yeah, I had to throw away some food. Not that big of a deal. Okay, be prepared. It's going to keep happening. Nah, I'm not worried about it. Now, a hurricane hits us and you're out of power again for the 3rd time this year. Guys, wintertime is coming. And where I live, anytime it snows, anytime it rains and it freezes over, trees go down, power lines get taken out. It's massive around here. Number 4, just because you have a generator does not mean that you're prepared. Like I said, this is the 3rd event to hit this area this year. During the Easter Sunday tornado, you could not find a generator in the upstate South Carolina. That's why me and 2 of my buddies had to drive 2.5 hours to Gainesville, Georgia to get a generator. I have a generator. I try to keep gas on hand for it. I try to keep oil on hand for it, spark plugs, and that way in case I need it, everything is in one location. There were so many people on Facebook complaining, well, I've got a generator, but the gas station's down. Or I've got a generator, but I don't have drop cords. It's part of the system. It's not just one piece. You need the rest of the parts to make it work. But had it happened at my house, and I didn't have gas, well, now what? Well, I've got a generator, but I don't have gas. There was a massive tree down on my road, which means I wouldn't be able to go north, but let me head south. There was another tree down. Let me head through the 3rd exit. So, alright, I get to the 3rd exit, I go to town. My entire town was out of power. So the closest operating gas station was almost 25 miles away. That's if you could even get out of your driveway. If you could even get out of your road. Eventually, as the day kept going, roads started clearing up, power got back to my town. So having all the pieces prevents you from having to go out and gather everything in the middle of a storm or right after a storm. So just because you have the generator, make sure you have other items for it. So the 3rd thing that I learned during the storm is simple mistakes get amplified during disasters. Story time. So my generators sit in a building. The building's 75 yards from my house. So my idea was to go get the generators, load them in the back of my vehicle, take them to 2 people who needed them. Instead of walking down there, and carrying the generators up here, I decided that I was going to take my two-wheel drive expedition down 75 yards to my building. This is after it had been raining all night. This is after the ground is soaking wet. I can't take 2 steps without sinking in mud, but I'm going to take my 6,000-pound vehicle, two-wheel drive, mind you, down to the building. I got freaking stuck. Now, yeah, go ahead, laugh at me. It happens. I knew as soon as my tires left the gravel road and hit that grass, I said, this is a terrible idea. This is one of the dumbest ideas I can make. So instead of turning around and remapping my plan, I said, forward march. Let's do it. Let's go. All the way. It wasn't good. It didn't turn out good. I got freaking gullies in my yard now. So I get down there. I'm still 60 yards away from the freaking building, mind you. Like I didn't get any closer, and I'm stuck. I am beyond stuck. Now I don't have a vehicle, and I still have to carry the generators to people, and I'm stuck. So I do have 2 other vehicles that are 4-wheel drive. The problem is they're not on the road, so they don't get started. They don't get ran as often as they should. They probably don't have gas in them. You know, they're project vehicles. Hook my jump box up to one, which is a expedition, another expedition, and I hook my wife's van up to my Explorer, my old vehicle, trying to get them both jump started. Both have dead batteries. So as time goes by, I go out there, spend an hour. I think, all right, this should do it. I should have both vehicles up and running at this point. I've got a plan. I've got a backup plan. I'm going to get my expedition 2-wheel drive unstuck with one of the 4-wheel drives. So I go to the 05 expedition, which is the 4-wheel drive one, and I look, and I just broke my jump box. The cable that goes on the negative terminal completely split in half because apparently the battery terminal was too big and broke it. So now I just broke a $100 jump box. I go to the Explorer, a little bit older, a little bit heavier, a little bit tougher. Okay, maybe this thing will start up. It starts up good. I said, all right, I'm good to go. Drive it down to where my expedition is, hook up, start pulling my expedition out of the mud. I don't know whether I blew out the transmission or I messed up the transfer case. But now my Explorer will not go backwards, and it makes a god-awful winding racket every time you put it in drive. So, simple mistake cost me a $100 jump box and probably about a $500 to $700 transmission. All because I was too lazy to walk 75 yards for a generator. Mind you, one of them generators had wheels on it. Think before you act. Stop, think, say, hey, is it safe for me to do this? Is it smart for me to do this? What is my backup plan? Your mistakes are amplified because there is a disaster going on. Be smart. So the second thing I learned, people are not ready to eat without the power being turned on. I left my house about 9 o'clock that morning, had to go run into town for some stuff, and I was talking with the lady at the bank, and she said, good luck getting food anywhere in this town. There's 8, 9, 10 different breakfast restaurants. Burger King, McDonald's, Hardee's, Bojangles, Chick-fil-A, all lined up on a strip. And each one of those restaurants, 9 o'clock in the morning, has a line that is wrapped around them and coming out onto the road. Every single one, and they're all stacked, one on top of the other. So everyone apparently decided that because the power was out, they were too good for cereal and milk, or they were too good for Pop-Tarts, or that no one had a backup system to cook breakfast on. This is at 9 o'clock. Come that night, you got a couple more buildings open, you got a couple more stores open. Dinner rush was even worse. Because again, people are at home, they have no way to cook, they have no way to fix a meal without the power, because most people run on an electric stove or a microwave, and they all rush to town. Because town has power, I'm going to go here, I'm going to eat dinner. and now you have 200 people trying to fit into a restaurant that holds 20. It wasn't good. So have a plan to eat in case the power does go out. You go down to Walmart, you buy a $20 Coleman stove topper with a 1 pound Coleman cylinder tank, and now you have breakfast when the power goes out. You have eggs, you have sausage, you have oatmeal, you have grits, you have rice, you have pasta. You have everything probably that should be in your pantry. You don't have to rush into town with all the other thousands of people to wait in line for an hour for a breakfast biscuit. And the top thing I learned from this event is people would rather bitch and complain about it than do something to help themselves not be in that situation again. People would rather sit on Facebook and complain about how the power company's not working hard enough to get their lights on. They would rather call up and harass the power company. How come I don't have any power? Well, ma'am, do you notice the 52 trees down in your front yard that are all laying on the power lines? Yeah. That's why you don't have power. People would rather complain about it on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever, than actually prepare for it. People love being showered with that attention of friends wanting to help them, or of people saying, well, if you need anything, come over to my house, or it's a slap in the face. Yes, I am willing to help my family, my friends, my neighbors, whatever. It hurts anyone that is willing to lend a helping hand, because now I'm putting myself in jeopardy of getting stuck, of running my vehicle off the road, of breaking down and not being at home safe in my nice house with power because I'm trying to help you out. So if you have people who want to mooch off of you because you are a prepper, because you do have stuff, let them ride it out. Give them small stuff, flashlights, candles, stuff like that. But say, hey, look, listen, you're going to have to come to me. I'm not coming to you, and this is all you're getting. Eventually these people have to learn. And if they figure that you're going to help them out this event, that means you're going to help them out next event. That's why I have 2 generators, one for me and one to hand out. But again, I spent more money so someone else wouldn't have to. And it's that mooching system. People would rather sit and complain on Facebook and get stuff for free than they would to go out and spend their own hard-earned money. And the problem with helping others out and loaning other people gear is somehow I never get the same gear back that I've given. I've lost drop cords, I've lost propane tanks, I've lost propane burners. I haven't lost a generator yet. That still somehow returns. But candles, flashlights, coolers somehow go up and missing. Because people would rather fuss and complain and see what they could get for free than going out and getting the items that they need out of their own pockets. Those are my 5 top items. Let me know what you've learned during your disaster events. Hope you guys have a good day. T2 out.